Hi, welcome back to my channel Tea Time with Peace and Joy. I'm Doris, and today we are going to talk about food. So I think a lot of you have heard the saying, we are what we eat, right? And that is to a certain extent pretty true, because the food intake that we have every single day impacts us in so many ways, including our emotions, our moods. So today we are going to talk a little bit about it. So a lot of people have probably experienced hunger, right? Hangry and anger because when you are hungry, you are less likely to be patient, and you're more likely to be easily irritated. And so we all had experienced it, probably when you're working and your boss is having a meeting with you and lost track of time and it's past lunchtime and you're hungry and they kept talking, things like that. So we've all experienced that. So but today I want to talk a little bit more than that basic kind of relationship, right? But more in depth. So some people may say, okay, so if you have depression, or if your mood is pretty low, like you're a little bit depressed, what you can do is you eat bananas, because bananas has potassium and it will help us to produce more serotonin and all those kind of things. And you've probably heard about nuts. Eating nuts is good for our brain, and omega-3 is good for the brain as well, and it will help our mood as well. And berries, especially blueberries, and probably dark chocolate as well. There's a lot of antioxidants in there. And why I say dark chocolate especially is because I don't want you intake those like sugar and other things in there. But dark chocolate itself is like, that chocolate itself is helpful. And whole grain instead of refined sugars, those kind of things are helpful. And so and fruits and vegetable as well. So those are all helpful, and there are a lot of studies done about those, but I'm not focusing on those today. I don't want you to get a list for me and say start eating this or that, because it helps in different ways for different people. And especially for some people, for example, if they are high on potassium, they shouldn't eat banana, even if they think that will help their mood, right? So I'll leave that to your doctor, but I want to focus on certain things today. So first, I want to talk about the intake of coffee and tea, and even like alcohol. Because if you're drinking tea or coffee too late in the day because of the caffeine intake, you don't want that, because that is going to make you hard to fall asleep. Or even if you do, you may wake up in the middle of the night and won't be able to fall back asleep. So that is something that we have to pay attention to. So that is one thing that I want to point out. And then the other thing is the relationship between, for example, ADHD and food. And a lot of people have done research on things like that, and they find out that, for example, food coloring may be correlated with children's reaction, and some people, I'm sure, like you've heard about the sugar rush and all that stuff too. So if you're interested, I will suggest that you can get a book and look into that, because that is totally related. And there are a lot of books out there claiming that we can actually treat ADHD, or not. Even if not treated completely, at least you can improve the condition by changing the diet. And there are a lot of research supporting that as well. So I highly recommend that you look into that. But one thing that I really want to talk about as well today is about eating disorders. So I think a lot of people have heard about that, and that is just a symptom, actually, if you look at it. Although it's like a disorder, but it's actually a symptom. Why am I saying that? Because there is like underlying reasons why people are doing that, and a lot of times people find that it's because they lost control in some other parts of their lives. But eating or food intake is something that they can control, and that is why they are controlling it, controlling their food intake, and controlling their body in a way to compensate for that. And so that is something that we have to pay attention to. And for example, some people may have it and they try to hide it. So they may eat with you, but they may be like getting a drink instead of like food, and then they may be chewing the ice, for example. So then people won't notice that they're not really eating. That is one of the tactics that they use, for example. So when we are having the problem, of course, like the best thing is to go seek help, right? And if we see that our friends or someone else is having the problem, and your loved ones or your friends or whoever, it is very important for them to be ready before you get them into treatment, because if they are not willing to, it's, you know, no use. You can't force them into treatment, right? But it can have really a big impact in their health. So one thing that you can do as a friend or as family member is to send them some information about eating disorder and how it's treatable. And there are many different programs, especially in the US. There are some programs that are really good. They actually can test their body and know their intake of protein and fat and, you know, all that stuff, like, so they can get the data for the past week or two. I don't really remember exactly of what their food intakes were, and then they can develop a treatment plan for them and help them out. And so there are a lot of centers who are doing those kind of treatments for people with different types of eating disorders. So but the main thing is give them the information, be supportive, be there for them, wait till they are ready. You know, you can ask them from time to time, you know, when they are ready. I really highly recommend that you can make an appointment with them, and you can go with them to the appointment as well. So yeah, so I hope this is useful to you. This information is useful, and today I want to share two Bible verses with you. Is in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, 19 to 20. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. So I hope this Bible verses will motivate us to look at our diet more closely, to eat more healthily, and pay more attention to the relationship between food and our overall health, and especially emotional health. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.